What begins as a peaceful day by the water can quickly spiral into chaos when a hippo decides to charge. Known for their surprising speed and aggression, these massive creatures can turn a quiet moment into a terrifying encounter in the blink of an eye. Safari horror, the hippo attack. The group had just arrived at the safari, excited for a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. They piled into the jeep, cameras ready, eager to capture their first wild sighting. As they drove along the dusty trail, their guide pointed out a family of hippos lounging near a riverbank. Everyone was thrilled, snapping photos and filming videos of the massive creatures from a safe distance. But suddenly, the ground trembled beneath them. Without warning, a hippo, its eyes wild with fury, charged straight for the jeep. The tourists' laughter turned to shouts of panic as the enormous beast thundered toward them, its powerful legs pounding the earth. The guide slammed the accelerator, but the hippo was fast, gaining on them with terrifying speed. The jeep bounced wildly as the animal's massive head swung toward them, its jaws snapping open in a vicious display of power. With a screech of tires, the guide swerved, narrowly avoiding the attack. The hippo slowed, disappearing into the brush, leaving the tourists shaking, heartbeats still racing. It was a brutal reminder. In the wild, danger is always just a step away. Hippo escape at Delhi Zoo. A terrifying encounter. It was an ordinary day at the Delhi Zoo, with tourists strolling around, enjoying the sights. But suddenly, the peaceful atmosphere was shattered. A loud noise echoed through the air as the ground trembled. A massive hippopotamus, usually calm, was desperately trying to break free from its enclosure. Its enormous body slammed against the fence, sending shockwaves through the crowd. People gasped and screamed in terror as the hippo's strength seemed unstoppable. As panic spread, one of the zoo staff quickly rushed to the scene, trying to calm the frightened onlookers. "Stay back! Stay calm!" he shouted as he carefully moved into position, trying to contain the situation. But the hippo wasn't giving up. Fed up with the enclosure, it charged, its massive jaws snapping in frustration. Just when it seemed like the situation could turn deadly, the hippo finally stopped, tired and defeated. With a final grunt, it turned and retreated into its enclosure. The crowd, shaken and relieved, could only watch in silence, grateful the ordeal was over. Escape from the hippo, a safari nightmare. The safari started like any other, calm and peaceful until an enormous hippo suddenly appeared. Without warning, it charged straight toward the tourist's vehicle. The driver's instincts kicked in. He slammed on the accelerator, desperate to get away and protect everyone inside. But the tourists quickly realized just how fast things were escalating. Hippos can run up to 30 miles per hour, and this one wasn't slowing down. The car sped forward, its tires kicking up dirt as the massive animal came barreling closer. For a few heart-stopping seconds, it seemed like the hippo was going to ram the vehicle. But then, just as quickly as it started, the hippo veered off and turned back, retreating into the brush. The group, still shaken and trying to catch their breath, couldn't believe what had just happened. What was meant to be a fun safari ride turned into a terrifying race for survival. It was a lesson they would never forget. In the wild, danger can strike at any moment. Hippo, photographer's terrifying moment. T was a perfect moment for a photographer. The river was calm, the sun was setting, and a large hippo was peacefully grazing on the riverbank. The photographer, camera in hand, focused on capturing the serene scene, quietly recording the majestic animal as it munched on grass. Everything seemed perfect. As he zoomed in, completely engrossed in the shot, the hippo's peaceful demeanor suddenly shifted. Without warning, the massive animal raised its head, eyes narrowing, and then, like a flash, the hippo charged straight at him. The photographer froze for a moment, his heart racing, realizing just how close he was to danger. Panic set in, and in an instant, he turned and ran, his camera still rolling. The hippo thundered after him, its massive body closing in fast. The video abruptly cut off, leaving only a blur of motion as the photographer fled for safety. The last thing we saw was him disappearing into the distance, hoping he made it out unharmed. It's a reminder. In the wild, danger can strike without warning. Chased by a hippo, a close call in Vale Water. What started as a perfect safari day in Vale Water, South Africa, quickly turned into a terrifying ordeal. The sun was high, the animals were grazing peacefully, and the tourists were enjoying their ride. As they drove along the dusty road, they spotted a hippo in the distance. moving slowly toward them. Excited by the rare sight, they pulled out their cameras, recording the curious animal as it approached. But then, without warning, everything shifted. The hippo, once calm, suddenly broke into a swift charge. Its massive body hurtled toward the car, its eyes locked with the terrified tourists inside. The group froze, shocked by the animal's unexpected aggression. In a moment of sheer panic, the driver slammed the accelerator, the tires kicking up dust as the car shot forward. The hippo, now gaining speed, pursued them down the road, but the car's sudden speed proved too much for the hippo to match. After a tense few moments, the animal finally stopped, giving up the chase. The men kept driving, hearts pounding, realizing just how quickly things had escalated and how lucky they were to escape. Hippo Fury, boat chase in Kenya. What started as a serene boat ride in Kenya quickly turned into a race for survival. The group of tourists was soaking in the beauty of the river, surrounded by nature's calm. But suddenly, the peaceful scene was shattered. A massive hippo emerged from the water, eyes fixed on the boat. Without warning, the hippo launched itself toward them, charging with astonishing speed. The tourists' calm quickly turned to panic as the boat rocked violently, the massive creature's powerful jaws snapping dangerously close. The driver, wide-eyed with fear, floored the accelerator, desperately trying to escape the charging beast. The boat surged forward, but the hippo didn't back down, closing the gap with each furious lunge. The water splashed wildly as the boat sped away, the hippo hot on their tail. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the hippo slowed and turned away, disappearing back into the water. The group, still shaken, breathed a sigh of relief. It was a narrow escape, and a sharp reminder of how quickly things can go from peaceful to perilous in the wild. Hippo on the hunt, a narrow escape in Botswana's Okavango Delta. What began as a tranquil safari in Botswana's Okavango Delta took a dramatic and terrifying turn. The group enjoyed the peaceful ride, snapping photos of wildlife and taking in the stunning scenery. But suddenly, their quiet adventure was interrupted. A massive hippo appeared on the riverbank, grazing lazily by the water. At first, everything seemed fine, but in an instant, the hippo's mood shifted. Without warning, it launched toward the jeep, its enormous body charging with surprising speed. Its massive jaws were wide open, and the ground seemed to shake with every step. The tourists' calm quickly turned to panic as the hippo gained ground, thundering after the vehicle. The driver's heart raced as he slammed the gas pedal, the engine roaring as the jeep sped off through the thick delta terrain. The hippo continued its relentless pursuit for what felt like forever, but the jeep finally pulled ahead. The group, now breathing heavily and shaken to their core, realized how close they had come to disaster. This heart-pounding chase was a sharp reminder of just how quickly a peaceful safari can turn into a life-or-death escape in the wild. Sudden danger, the day a hippo came for the boat. At first, everything seemed peaceful. A family was enjoying a relaxing boat ride down the river, chatting and laughing as they cruised through the calm water. They even started recording, capturing the beauty of their surroundings, unaware of the danger lurking nearby. The video shows them casually talking about the hippos that live in the area, without a hint of the terror to come. Minutes passed, and still, nothing unusual happened. The river remained calm, and the family felt safe, their worries fading away. But just as the video was about to end, out of nowhere, a massive black hippo appeared, charging toward the boat. Its huge jaws opened wide, snapping dangerously close. The family's hearts stopped as they realized how close they were to disaster. Without a second to lose, the driver gunned the engine, speeding away from the angry hippo. The boat barely escaped in time, leaving the family shaken but safe. It was a stark reminder of just how unpredictable and dangerous wild animals can be. Tanzania fishing trip turns into hippo nightmare. It was a peaceful day on the river in Tanzania. Two men sat back in their boat, casting their lines into the calm waters, enjoying the serenity of the moment. They chatted and laughed, completely unaware of the giant danger lurking beneath the surface. The river seemed tranquil, and everything felt just right. Then, out of nowhere, the stillness shattered. A massive splash erupted as a hippo surged out of the water, charging toward the boat. The force of the impact was overwhelming, like a freight train slamming into them. The boat lurched violently, sending both men sprawling across the deck. The hull groaned under the shock, and for a split second, they thought the boat might capsize. Heart racing, the men scrambled to regain their footing, realizing how close they'd come to disaster. Miraculously, they stayed inside the boat, shaken but unharmed. The Hippo, seemingly satisfied with its attack, submerged back into the water, leaving the men breathless and wide-eyed, grateful for the harrowing escape they'd just survived. Hippo charges on Chobe River, January 2015. In January 2015, what was supposed to be a tranquil boat ride on the Chobe River quickly turned into a heart-pounding escape. The group of tourists were cruising peacefully, admiring the river's beauty, blissfully unaware of the danger lurking just below the surface. As they drifted along the calm waters, a massive hippo appeared on the shore, grazing casually in the sun. But out of nowhere, the calm turned to chaos. The hippo, usually slow and docile, suddenly lunged forward, charging straight for the boat. Its huge body moved with shocking speed, splashing through the water as it closed in on the vessel. The tourists gasped, and the boat rocked violently as the hippo's jaws snapped dangerously close. In a split second, the driver slammed the throttle, sending the boat racing forward, but the hippo wasn't giving up. It charged after them, closing the gap fast. It was a tense, nail-biting chase, but finally, the boat managed to outpace the furious animal. With the hippo retreating, the group breathed a collective sigh of relief. They had narrowly escaped the jaws of danger, a stark reminder of how unpredictable and deadly the wild can be. As we wrap up, it's clear, nature's unpredictability can turn peaceful moments into life-threatening encounters. When hippos charge, we're reminded just how wild and untamed the animal kingdom can be.